What's up, guys? So, I just finished listening to Christopher Paolini's recent addition to the sci-fi genre called To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. And I'll just be sharing my thoughts. I know this book came out a few years ago, so maybe you guys have already read it. Regardless, the premise, or a little introduction so you can kind of know what to expect going into it. The premise is set, I believe, in the year 2500, and mankind has begun to colonize different portions of the galaxy. And our protagonist Kira discovers a object of alien origin that then facilitates and leads to the instigation of a intergalactic conflict. I definitely had some. I was familiar with Paolini's work. I'm a really big fan of his inheritance cycle books. I think those books are very good, especially considering for the time and the situation that fantasy was in at that time, and also just his age. Wow, fascinating. And this book, it starts off very strong. Gives a lot of aliens vibes. If you've seen those movies, those are great movies. Highly recommend. Go check them out. And then the book abruptly kind of changes a bit, and it starts to feel pretty reminiscent of the original Halo game storyline, which is a storyline that I love, by the way. The book starts off very strong, but after that it kind of drags on a bit, and I hate to say it, but it seems to overstay its welcome. I really think that this book could have worked better as a series. It's just very long, and then when it ended, I was really taken aback. I thought, wait, we're done? I thought this was leading to something, and there's no sequel. I hear there's a prequel, but based on my experience with this book, I won't be looking into the prequel. I've already heard disappointing things about it. I think that this book's trying to be a lot of things, and in truth, that is kind of the vibe of the inheritance cycle. It's a bit of Lord of the Rings, a bit of Star Wars, kind of hybrid and blended together, but it works much better. This book, it doesn't have that compelling narrative, and it's, again, maybe if you've been broken up into bits and more than one book, maybe the execution would have been better, but it really just goes and goes and goes, and not my favorite. I regret to inform. I think I'd have to give it a B minus. The reason I'm giving it that grade, again, the first bit of this book, maybe the first half or so, wow, really holds your attention. It's some A content, but then the last half just kind of goes off into the weeds. There's a lot of weird tropes and a lot of things that just, again, probably would have worked better in more than one book, but it was all in one. I don't really know why, and Paolini hadn't written for a while. So if this is what he'd been working on all that time, that's interesting. And I don't see why he couldn't have just broken it up. But those are my thoughts. So, well, until next time.